Hey everyone, and welcome back to Planning and More with Me's. So today I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to create get to know me videos in parts. I feel like this is a great way to get to know me and understand where I come from and what events specifically led up to who I am today. Um, so I thought about doing this in parts, and that way I can hopefully reach out to people or connect with people who might be going through the same thing. Um, just to let you guys know that you're not alone and there are people like myself that are going through certain things. So if you'd like to watch, please do continue. And then, of course, subscribe to this channel to show some support. Give my videos a thumbs up and push that notification bell so that you know the next time I post. All right, so a lot of who I am today can be accounted for by some of the things that I've been through. And if most of you don't know already, my husband and I struggle with infertility. This is huge for me because I haven't really ever opened up in this kind of a platform. I've normally just kind of kept to myself, or maybe have told one or two people exactly what it is that I've been going through. But I feel like talking about it and really understanding, or giving people a chance to understand what it is that I'm going through might help the person who is trying to talk to me, or who is trying to get to know me, or who is trying to build that relationship with me. So in 2016, I found out that I was pregnant, and it was an exciting time. But with that came some uncomfortable pain. And most people I've talked to, including my mom, never mentioned anything about any sort of pain, any uncomfortableness, or anything like that. So I was really worried, and I called 811 just to find out, make sure everything was okay. And they had suggested, the nurse on there had suggested that I go and get it checked out at the hospital. And according to her, from the time that I told her that I'd had my last period, I was about 8.5 weeks pregnant. So I obviously went to urgent care, or I went to the emergency actually, and I got all the tests done. I got a blood test done, I got an ultrasound done, I got a um, a pregnancy test done there, and everything came out positive. However, with my blood test, my hormone levels were kind of decreasing, and that's when the the doctor had told me that two things could be happening, or one of two things could be happening. The first one is that I could be having a miscarriage, and the second one was that I was having an ectopic pregnancy, because the numbers didn't seem to add up. 2 days later, well, they sent me home, told me to just keep an eye on the pain, and that they would book me in for an ultrasound, and they would just let me know and give me a call, and I would go in and get it done. The next, or 2 days later, I woke up and in excruciating pain. Like, I can't even explain to you the kind of pain that I was in. And so it was 5 in the morning, and I wake my husband up, and I'm like, something is wrong. You gotta take me to the hospital. I'm not sure what's going on. Sure enough, we get to the hospital, and they, of course, give me morphine and stuff for the pain to keep me comfortable. And a few hours later, a surgeon came in wanting to talk to me and told me that I was most definitely having an ectopic pregnancy, and that they had to get in and remove it right away. Now, I was in no sane mind or anything like that to make any decisions whatsoever, so I had to have my husband help me out on this one. And there were a few things that I do now that I've, talked to my husband about it and talked to the surgeon about it. They gave me a few different options on how to terminate the pregnancy before my tube ruptured. So the first one was to use some sort of a drug, to eat some sort of a drug, similar, like an oral drug, similar to what they use for chemo, and that would kill, that would terminate the pregnancy and hopefully allow it to slide through. Another one was a laser option to, go in and laserly, if that's even a word, break apart the pregnancy. And then the last and most final decision was surgery. Now, with surgery, because I had an ectopic pregnancy in the tube, they said that they would not leave the tube in there, that they would remove it, because once it's already damaged, that's it. Like, it's the chances of having another ectopic pregnancy were much, much higher if I'd left the tube in. So, because of the pain that I was in and because of how serious it was and they wanted to get to it before it ruptured, surgery seemed to be the best option. So that day I was rushed into emergency surgery and I had my left tube removed along with the 9-week-old pregnancy. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I was in. I felt like my world was ending. Honestly, I did. And I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know whom to talk to. I didn't know what to do. I was 26 years old. Never felt anything like this before. Definitely did not envision that to even be a part of my pregnancy story. So I had the surgery. I took a month off, took care of myself, tried to stay as positive as I could. Didn't think I needed to get any professional help because I thought, oh, like, I'm good. I can do this. I can deal with it on my own. I had a lot of really good days and a lot of really bad days. And I just wanted to get my life back and I wanted to just go back to normal. So, after the month, I ended up working, going back to work, and I started a new job, and I treated that job like it was my baby. I had a really close connection to it, and I think I know what I did was I associated my pregnancy with this new job, and I treated that job like it was my baby. And I wanted it to be perfect, and I wanted everything to be perfect all the time. And that's where a lot of my anxiety came from having to be perfect all the time. I had to be in control because it was the only way that I knew how to get through at the time. And I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like that was just the right thing to do. And so I did it. And it worked. It did. Work was a great coping mechanism. And I got through a lot of tough times with it. And it kind of gave me that oomph to just want to push through and get through. So I did that, and I thought I was dealing with it the best way I knew how. In the process of doing that, I started pushing everybody away. Anybody and everybody who was close to me or who knew me, I pushed them away. I refused to talk to them about what was going on. I isolated myself. I literally went to work, came home, didn't want to do anything else. Visiting family was, I felt at the time, an obligation. Like, I felt like I had to do it, not because I wanted to do it. I wasn't all there. I was always moody. I was probably really mean, unintentionally, of course. But I just thought that that was the way that I was going to deal with what I was dealing with. And I think out of all of that, I learned that it's okay to ask for help. I know that I'm not the only person. I know now, 4 years later or 3 years later, that I am not the only person who's going through something like this. I get that some people want to keep things quiet and not really talk about it. And I think the best way to get over what we're dealing with is to talk about it. And I think that once we start opening up about it, I think it's so much easier to get through these feelings, because you don't sit there and wonder, oh, am I the only one going through it? Am I the only person who feels this pain? Because you're not. You're not the only person who feels this pain. And the reason why I wanted to start this channel, guys, was to connect with these people, because infertility is a huge issue right now, and I'm seeing and hearing more and more about the fact that, you know, people are having a rough time getting pregnant. Women are suffering with polycystic ovarian syndrome, known as PCOS, which is something that I'm dealing with, and that makes our chances of getting pregnant significantly lower. And there's nothing in the world that you can do to control that, right? Like, it's hard to control the fact that you can be diagnosed with PCOS. It's not something that, you know, you can avoid. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So I don't want to make this video any longer than it should be, and I want to be able to do this in parts, so consider this part one. I will be back to do some more parts to this story, because I'm excited to share with you how far I've come and what the end goal looks like. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that it's easy, because it's not. The road to get to where I am, and let me tell you, I'm still working on myself. It's still an everyday battle. It's still something that I struggle with. It's still the last thing I think of when I go to bed and the first thing I think of when I wake up. It's hard work, y'all. Honestly, it really is. But I'm excited to share my story and my journey with you, and I hope that if there's anything from this that you get, that I can touch at least one person and connect with one person and let them know that, hey, like, you're not alone. I've been through it. I'm going through it. I totally get it. But I think I'll stop there. I hope that this video makes sense. I really didn't even plan how I was going to do this or what I was going to do. I kind of just turned on the camera and started talking, and it seemed a lot easier than I thought it would be. So there it is. There's my story, or part of my story. That's me being vulnerable and raw. So be kind. To people that you know that are going through infertility, because it's consuming. It's really consuming. It's tiring. It's an ongoing battle. It never really goes away, honestly. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If this is something that you'd like to share with someone you know who might be going through the same thing, please send them to my channel. Or even give me a private message, and I would love to connect with them via phone call or social distance coffee, which seems to be the new norm nowadays. So yeah, if you liked it, please continue supporting. Subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and like I said earlier, please push that notification button so that you know the next time that I do upload. Thank you so much, guys, for being ever so supportive. I did want to take a minute, when I put this channel out on my Facebook page, the amount of love and support that I got was so overwhelmingly amazing. So thank you, everybody, for doing that and supporting me on this journey. It's not an easy one, but I'm really excited to I'm really excited for this thing to blow up. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are all staying safe. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care, guys.